TikToker gets really big, gets big following, everybody loves them. Zooey mama, we stan that TikToker, only to be then hated on for the things they originally kind of brought to the table. Carrington. Today we are discussing Carrington. Carrington's rise to fame and now his critiques whilst being in the spotlight. Let me introduce myself. My name is Cowder's Life, and if you're new to this channel, we do video essays talking about things we see on the internet, and then we all discuss it as a community down in the comment section below. So if that sounds like fun for you, please feel free to subscribe. We are trying to beat this here old ratio. Yippee! Words of empowerment. Anyways, if you're not new here, hello again, nice to see you. The Beyblade we'll be looking at the end of the video is another variant on Dranza. And I would just like to say before we get into this video, huge thank you to everyone that commented on my most recent community post. It really meant a lot, and I truly am so grateful for all of you. So genuinely thank you. But because I don't really want the waterworks to start, let's just get into the topic. Carrington, aka Swag Lord, and just a side note, I love that name, it's so funny. It's really cool seeing like the revival of like cringe era, but making it cool. Basically, Carrington rose to fame on TikTok due to his really funny sketches that he'll just do time and time again, doing different variants on them, and his like big extroverted fun personality. And I think just through the amount of like sheer content he pumped out, people have found him like this really relatable, fun character to, you know, like and enjoy the content around and like be a part of his community. However, with like the life cycle, it seems, of being a TikTok content creator, you go from being like this super loved megastar it boy status, you know, one that everything he uploads just turns to boom viral content, and then suddenly the switch flips and it seems to be they seem to be picking apart everything from personal relationships to his lifestyle. Controversy 1, talking point 1, the parasocial relationship with Mitzi. A lot of the current drama surrounding Carrington right now involves Mitzi, another TikTok content creator who Carrington did a lot of videos with. This controversy surrounds his relationship with Mitzi, or should I say perceived relationship. Because they made so much content together, fans just speculated that, you know, they were in a relationship, as this happens time and time again on the internet. When boy creator with girl creator and they do video together, they must be dating, they must be courting. He must ride to her tower every night because she's this princess, and he's like, "My love, I give you this rose," whilst his horse's mane flows nicely in the breeze. I don't know. But this is a real problem on the internet. It seems like boy and girl, man and woman can't make videos together without being romantically shipped. Zooey mama, that is stressful. However, recently though, much to the heartbreak of millions of fans, they haven't been making as much content together. And Mitzi even uploaded a TikTok captioned, "I don't like when people change," which fans immediately assumed was about Carrington. In the comment section, fans were so quick to be like, "This is about Carrington. I miss the Carrington and Mitzi era," saying that Carrington had changed and that they were no longer on good terms. Some even claim that Mitzi commented on a post being like, "I think he hid a relationship from me." But like, this is literally all speculation. There is no real evidence here. And this is why this is so problematic. This is a real classic example of parasocial relationships. The type of connection where fans feel personally involved in the life of these creators. These fans become emotionally invested in the relationship between two people they do not personally know. And when things go south, or they, you know, seem to go south because they're not posting as much together in videos, time and time again, they start treating these people like they're characters in shows rather than people with complex lives, and we're only seeing one dimension of it, which is what they put on the internet. And like, this just must be so overwhelming. I can see why like so many people just don't post about their partners online if they're a content creator, and I do the same thing, and I'm nowhere near the same size as these people. But having this many people speculate if you're still with someone, if you're not with someone, who are you with? How long have you been together? Oh my goodness, that is very intense. And I know you can argue, well, Cal, they put videos up together on the internet, therefore one can speculate. Maybe between your friends, but you don't have to be posting on the internet and then doing fan edits of them together. Sometimes I think that's real good energy because you care, and it's nice that you care about something. It's good to have passions, but maybe we're just directing it into the wrong places, and this can come a bit intense. I think lots of creators have spoken out about how shipping makes them uncomfortable because it's turning all relationships, regardless of their nature, into something intimate. And that is a weird assumption to make about people. And then it can also just make people feel uncomfortable to do collabs, right? Because it's like, whoever I collab with, I'm now going to get shipped with. Zooey Mama, I wouldn't want that. I don't think I'd navigate that well. And also, like, let's just say they did date. Okay, cool, that's fine. It's not really the end of the world, or it has to be this big deal if they are no longer together. You know, they're very young. Most relationships don't last, especially when you're young, and that is totally okay. I want to stress, this is never me demonizing the fans. I think, you know, just from an outsider view, it looks like Carrington's and Mitzi's fan base, or at least the vocalized portion of the fan bases, are very young fan bases. It's very usual and normal for them to kind of just behave like this because they're growing up lifetime and they're working out how to conduct themselves in society. I just think being on the receiving end of this type of fan culture must be quite scary. Another source of controversy I now see for Carrington is his friendships with Johnny Gilbert and Jake Weber. Since Carrington has, you know, been spending way more time with them, fans have accused him of changing, saying he ditched his old friends for bigger names and his personality isn't the same anymore. But I feel this whole critique overlooks something genuinely important. People do change. Change is okay. I know change, much for like myself, is scary. Changing routines really fries my brain out. Boo, hiss, boo, we don't like. But also, you kind of have to accept people do change. They evolve. Their likes and interests change. And as sometimes it may feel weird to us, the people around them, even though in this case you're not actually around them, it's kind of like a parasocial thing. But anyway, kind of gotta let people change. And if you no longer resonate with their content, that is okay. You don't have to watch them anymore. Like someone watching my content may have resonated with it 8 videos ago, and now he's like, nah, Cal's not really my scene anymore. I'm totally okay with that. It's nice that I got to be there for part of it, you know, someone you'd watch, but I don't expect to be there forever. I'm not like Santa. I'm Cal does. But for real, it's not unusual for content creators who are essentially running their own businesses, right? That person right there is a business in themselves. They're literally a walking, talking business, to collaborate with other creators who have similar demographics to them. Jake and Johnny have a similar vibe to Carrington. You know, they've all got like these very vocal, big followings of young people. So to all work together kind of makes sense as a business move. Whether they would admit that or not, kind of does. It's like seeing musicians cross over to being like a fun boy band. They're like the One Direction of TikTok. And which is funny because they actually all do make music. I feel like the issue here isn't that Carrington is hanging out with different people. It's more that some fans, and not all, it's never all, it's just this vocal minority. I never want to paint it as all fans because I know most of Carrington's, much like Jake and Johnny's fans, are these lovely, amazing fans that truly just love that content creator. But there's this vocal portion of these fandoms that are holding creators like Carrington to unrealistic standards. They expect him to remain the same forever. They expect him to be the same person that, say, made this skit from ages ago. As Carrington openly always says, he just uploads lots and lots of content and just does whatever sticks. So he's always changing. He's always doing different things. I think we're forgetting that people like Carrington are growing up lifetime in front of us. You know, they're still pretty young, so their interests and such are going to be evolving and changing quite a lot and quite frequently. And just like you, the viewer, you change and grow too, and that's so awesome and cool. Giving yourself that permission to change and become the most authentic version of yourself, super cool, super swag lord. We love that. We all want to be our own swag lords. Say swag lord more cow, swag lord. But sometimes I feel for these creators, they become like this one-trick pony that you want them to stay as, which I think must be tough for them to navigate when they've got this intensely involved audience. If we just took this on a normal level, how many of us, like for me, the people who I hang out with change year on year. And yes, I've got like my core best friends, my ride or dies, my bros, my lover boys, the people I love most in this world. You know, they're always there. I've been lucky enough to be with them since I was a young lad, and we've all grown up together into adulthood. And though we don't see each other much anymore because we all live in different parts of the country, they're still my core friends. But my friends that I see due to work and stuff, that kind of changes every year, and that's perfectly normal. And I think that's just what we're seeing with Carrington. But because some fans and some people have put so much importance on Carrington being with this person or this person, when you see that routine change up, it can make us feel anxious or make the viewer feel some type of way that isn't positive. But just because you have those, not necessarily happy feelings doesn't mean Carrington is a bad person or he's being fake or changing. He is changing, but just like you or I change, it's okay to change. Change is good. Yes. I'd now like to discuss one of the more damaging accusations I keep seeing flying around about Carrington, which is the speculation of snow use. There's been this speculation all over TikTok comments that Carrington is using snow, which is a slang term for a certain thing, and I don't know what I can or can't say to get demonetized, but oh boy, I love the drink Coca-Cola. Coke. What a lovely glass of Coke. Oh, this is not an ad read for Coke. There's just Coke. I hope I've made that clear. I don't know how else to go about it, but oh yes, not Pepsi. People are speculating Carrington is doing no. Sorry, I keep smiling. I just never had heard the term snow until TikTok. Typically, I've never heard anyone call it this before. Maybe it's an American thing, but in England, they do not call it that. They just call it Coke. The beverage Coke. Oh boy. Gulp, 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 gulp. Refreshing. Anyways, but this speculation and accusation is genuinely unhinged levels of wild because there's no true evidence to back any of this up. It's nothing more than people saying it purely because of his energy and his eyes in some videos. And I feel I've got to be really clear. There's literally no real evidence here. And it's just so incredibly harmful to just kind of spread this sort of baseless information or start rumors about someone's personal life. The fact that these rumors are circulating purely based on how Carrington looks or acts in videos shows just how far parasocial relationships can go. People truly have convinced themselves that they know Carrington so well that they can validly make judgments about his personal habits without even having any empathy about thinking about how damaging to Carrington these accusations could be. Not only does this paint Carrington in a light that he didn't even ask for or even align himself with, but it also really just demonizes people who struggle with addiction, reinforcing harmful stereotypes rather than offering empathy and support. It's this, boo, Carrington acts this certain way, boo his boo, that's a snow talking, bro. If you have genuine concerns that someone is doing snow, it shouldn't be to clown on them and make it a big scene about, oh look, they're doing this. It should be, oh goodness, I genuinely hope they're okay and safe. Empathy seems to have gone out the window and it's wee woo, let's make zero evidence-based accusations about people. I do want to note though that a lot of the fans making these comments, I did click on a few of their profiles, are clearly so young, so young. And I feel many are just repeating what they're seeing online, or they're basing it off of what they've seen in movies, probably on Netflix. So bless, it's almost the innocence of what they perceive people on these things look like. And why that may sound silly to say out loud, it's just people assuming and guessing when they have no real practical experience even themselves. It is still problematic because you can't just really go around saying people are up to illegal activities. Not very cool, not very swag lord like. And I do feel all of this parasocial interactions really do detract from valid critiques or things that can be discussed when thinking about Carrington. Talking point 5. The social media course. Genuine advice or cash grab? Carrington did, I think he's taken it down now, but did offer a paid social media course. And some were saying it was charging upwards of $100 a month. So this is no cheap thing. And basically within this, he would offer advice on, how to grow on social media, how to market yourself. But here's the thing. Most of the advice he offers is free, literally on his TikToks and just on the internet. His ethos can kind of just be boiled down to, don't overthink it, upload, just keep uploading, which is genuinely solid advice for social media and success on it. Don't overthink it, don't make it too complicated, just upload and something will stick. Good advice, but doesn't really need to be paid for. Online courses like this often just feel really exploitative because they kind of just target people who are vulnerable and desperate to succeed or desperate for that validity of being someone of note online. And the problem is, the course doesn't necessarily even give you those tools to succeed online. You know, selling these courses based on these things that aren't like these amazing secrets or anything life-changing always feels unnecessary, especially when the barrier to entry is so high. And if we're being completely transparent in these conversations of Carrington's success, it is also very important to acknowledge that Carrington truly benefits from pretty privilege. And I should say, this is never, ever, ever to discredit his hard work and content. His content is genuinely funny. That's why it also does so well. But the combination of being societally, generically, incredibly good looking, combined with the fact that you're funny, you don't take yourself too seriously, and you've just got the confidence to just keep uploading, means you're basically definitely going to win. And it's like almost like sometimes it feels like with his content, with some of these advice TikToks he does on growth, it feels like it paints a path to success a bit too straightforward, because it isn't just really about posting frequently. Many post frequently, and many of these aspiring influencers that even may have brought his course may be misled into thinking they can achieve the same levels of fame and success just by following his basic tips of being like this careless fun energy, when in reality it's so much more complex than that. Unfortunately, you can't teach being a literal model and this personality. Your personality, you know, is shaped by so many experiences and it's so complex. That being said though, there's also like the valid argument that some people might just find the literal motivation or confidence they need through a course like Carrington's. It's almost like they need that permission in themselves. They're paying for something, so they're actually gonna give something a real good go and give it their time and energy. I think it's a real nuanced issue, but it's definitely one worth exploring. And also I just do want to say, because I'm now lifetime playing that back in my head, I'm not demonizing anyone for being good looking. That's awesome. That's great if you're societally deemed super, super attractive. Zooey mama, you win. That's great. All I'm saying is those things will influence someone to follow you and engage with your content. And that is totally okay. But it's also just being aware of you have that. So that is also a contributing factor why people follow you. But that's not me, you know, saying it's okay when people comment weird things about Carrington's looks that may make him genuinely uncomfortable. I think finally my last talking point will just be like navigating the parasocial world, because I feel like Carrington's rise to fame and now his current backlash reflect a much broader issue with online fame. The more popular a creator gets, the more some parts of audiences feel they deserve to know more about said content creator's personal life, and the more they feel they can scrutinize that content creator because in their head they've built up this relationship or they've built up this concept of this person. So when they no longer fit their idea of them, they get annoyed and vocalize it online. And I think why that's occurring with content creators, you know, like Carrington, like Johnny, like Jake, is because they share so much of their life online, who they're dating, what they're up to all the time. It creates this bond between them and the viewer, where the viewer really does see a lot of what's going on, but very much on a superficial level, not really the intricacies and complexities of the life, but still, it paints a picture that you really know that person. But I think because of this, it really does create these parasocial relationships between, say, Carrington and the viewer, where I feel the fans truly feel they own a piece of Carrington's life, and when things don't go the way they want or the way they perceive Carrington to be, they will turn on them. The Mitzi case, how his behavior has changed when he hangs out with Johnny and Jake. Now suddenly accusations of him doing snow because he's just being the same big extrovert he's always been, but just on a larger scale. I think the reality is, for these content creators like Carrington that do just choose to show so much of their life online, is that they're also probably learning lifetime how to navigate the online world, where they are both like clearly performers and characters, but also real life individuals. And I suppose with their type of content they do, the pressure to be like permanently on. I know Carrington's content seems very, it's whatever, he's this goofy silly guy that just uploads whatever. Even despite going down that route, fans are still projecting their own expectations onto him. And I don't know, I just think that must be overwhelming. Maybe that's just me. I would just like to conclude on this now. I feel like the drama surrounding Carrington shows just how quickly parasocial relationships can turn negative. It's all fun and games having this really vocalized, I love you audience where you share everything with, until suddenly they don't like what you're becoming or how you're changing. So They demonize you. While there are like valid critiques about Carrington, you could argue with his social media course being a cash grab. I feel like the parasocial nature shows just how tricky navigating fame online can be. And that's not me being like, oh, it must be so tough. He makes lots of money just by uploading silly, goofy, haha TikToks. Yeah, I think many of us would choose that option in life, right? To be able to just upload TikToks and seemingly just have a good time. But that doesn't really show the totality of his life. And also, I think when people are then offered the reality of just being scrutinized online for, you know, their eyes looking big in a video, so they must be doing snow, that's a tough one to deal with, like baseless accusations. So with that, I'm now going to open up the floor to you, the viewers. What do you think about all of this Carrington stuff? Do you think this is the pure example of how parasocial relationships are super toxic? Do you think these criticisms are valid? If you do, like I always say, you don't have to agree with me. If you think these criticisms are truly of merit and validity, I'm always happy to have that discussion in the comment section. And boom, today's Beyblade, Dranza. If you're new here and you've made it all the way to the end and you're now like, why is this man showing me a Beyblade? Well, I show Beyblades in all of my videos, and today I'm showing my original Dranza. This Beyblade, okay, used to tear it up on the battlefield, and that's why it's kind of aged. But boy, is it good. You knew when this guy showed up on the battlefield, he was about to let it rip for real. Yes, sir. Zooey mama. Yeah, I like Dranza a lot. Super cool, super blue. Yes, shout out to my boy Dranza. I've been your boy Cowder's Life. There'll be another video essay here if you want to watch another of my videos. And I shall see you all in the comment section and in the next video. Yes. Okay, bye.